to tell you about it, and I don't know specific on your case, but like Pat said, there are procedures in place to take care of this. And if those aren't being followed, then you do have a recourse. You do have a recourse. Isn't that right, Larry?
Yes.
You do have a recourse. So it's up to you to make sure it happens. I'm very sorry that you had a bad experience with the sheriff's office, and I can just assure you that as sheriff that we would take care of it and look into everything very seriously. We can't have that. And the First Amendment right is paramount. Absolutely paramount. I may not agree with you, but you have that right to speak your mind.
Just about every law enforcement agency does. Everyone should have a procedure. If you have a complaint, you fill it out, and it gets assigned to a certain person, and they go out and they investigate and they talk to witnesses and get your side of the story, and everyone involved in it from the bridge just moves up the chain of command. Just like Sergeant Warren said, if you're not getting what you feel is sufficient enough, then there are other courses you can take to the district attorney's office. Obviously, we've gone up to Senator Canella's office, but as sheriff, that's something that I want to make sure that my door is open, and we start the process and it just moves up to the top. So I want to make sure that my door is open, and if you're being treated fairly, you do have rights, and I will defend those rights.
I'm pretty sure you're Pat Lundy, right? You didn't introduce yourself and we're filming when you first spoke. Would you just go ahead and say your name, because people are going to be watching later? We're posting this everywhere, folks.
Yes, I'm Pat Lundy.
Thank you.
That's like,
Thank you.
Would you address the use of drones by the Sheriff's Department in the future or currently, and the possible invasion of our privacy by state and federal drones over Merced County?
that's another current topic. I think that first of all, I don't think governmental drones ought to be over Merced County, federal governmental drones. I think there's going to be instances where on tactical situations, narrow tactical situations where we're using the helicopter now, when we're using those kinds of things, that I think that a drone or the drone technology can be employed successfully and to the benefit of the citizens of Merced County and us to protect us as the deputies working the scene. Having said that, I do not believe that we ought to send drones out on surveillance missions. I think that the technology has to be carefully controlled. I think that it can be beneficial. I think that those are the kinds of things that we have to watch right from the beginning, or they'll get out of control. And so my thing is, there's going to be applications that is going to benefit us, it's going to benefit you, and it's going to be for a safety deal. So I believe that in the future, it's not here yet, the regulations aren't in place, but in the future, I think that you'll see the use of drones. It's up to you and to me to make sure they're used correctly.
The use of drones, like you said, I was on the SWAT team for 12 years, and having an unmanned anything to go in and take a look at something, we've got a robot now, and I agree, specific targeted areas, but just to send something up, just to start taking pictures, just to see what we can find. I believe, was it the CIA was doing that with our cell phones? So no, the answer is no, and the federal government would have to check in with the local law enforcement before they did anything. They have to. And it's up to your local law enforcement to continue to protect your rights. Fourth Amendment against unreasonable searches and seizures, well, that's what you're talking about with those drones. Pat said it. There's a great technology out there. We can use it for the betterment of us, but it should not be abused.
I agree with the technology comes great responsibility, and if you don't have responsibility for that, then that can get out of hand. I would rather use the money to put good use to put deputies back on the street and put programs that are going to benefit the community, not put drones to see what everybody has in their backyard. I mean, that's going a little bit far and beyond. We do have, technology, robots that we do use for tactical situations, especially, long threats and situations like that. But I'm not really for having any kind of drones flying over your house to see what's in your backyard.
I have a question for you. My name is Javier Fuentes. I would like to know what changes or what you plan to do to address the diversity that we have in the county as far as language and culture, so that all citizens feel that they are protected and that their culture and their language is respected, and the law applies to all.
Thank you, very good question. Me personally, I would like to see diversity, and that's starting from the top all the way to the bottom. I've kind of tossed this around, and if elected, maybe we'll have our first female undersheriff. Who knows? I have 3 daughters, and one of them has expressed interest in law enforcement. So I would like to see diversity starting from the top and to the bottom. In Livingston, we have a large Indian community, and it'd be nice to have dispatchers that if somebody called on an emergency, they would be able to speak Punjabi. Said we have, different ethnic groups and ethnicity. So yeah, I would like to see some diversity and some opportunity and given, and that's starting from the top of administration down to the bottom.
We already have some systems in place for our diverse communities. If we have somebody that actually calls into our 911 system that speaks Mandarin Chinese, we've actually got a button they can push and it transfers them immediately to somebody that speaks that language so that we can get the communication, so that somebody's in there going, I don't know. The bottom line is we have a diverse community, and if you take a look at the population of our sheriff's office, the employees themselves, we've got virtually every facet of what we've got going on in our community working at our office, and I'd like to see that continue. But you can't push a rope. I said it earlier. You got to get folks that want to become into the business, and to be telling me as a sheriff, well, you got to hire more Martians. Well, if I don't have any Martians that want to become deputies, how am I going to make that happen? So that's what we've got to get, is we've got to get that, and having that relationship with folks will encourage everybody that wants an opportunity to be within the department to work. We have some systems in place to help those folks that we don't speak the language and get that taken care of, because every citizen, no matter what, needs our help and needs to know that the sheriff does care. Language doesn't say that you care or not care. It's what's in the heart, and by doing that, we can take care of that. But there are some things in place to, don't think that we don't have it now, but we do.
What you want your sheriff's department to do is reflect the diversity of the county. Vern has already mentioned that they've got a good start on that. There's a lot of diversity already there. So that's good. So how do we go to the next step and the next step? So the next step is we have to recruit, and you cannot just recruit the way we've always done it in the past. You have to target groups, you have to train deputies to go out and solicit and get applications and actually put some work into getting those kinds of applications. Okay, but we're not there yet. So what's the next step? What we did is we used community liaison officers. And community liaison officers, we would hire people from those groups, those ethnic groups out there, and they would step in, and if there was ever a misunderstanding or if they had a question and they felt comfortable to come to the department to voice their concerns or whatever we were doing to serve them. So I think it's more than just intent to get to want to be diverse, to diversify and reflect the community. You've got to, 1, do it, and number 2, you've got to recruit, and then 3, we have to do some bridging in between because we're not there yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, are there any more questions? We have time for one more question before we wrap it up with the closing statements. Yes, sir.
There is no unified 911 system in Merced County, and it seems to me that there's a great deal of expenses by the city of Livingston, the city of Merced, and all these municipalities. What is your thought on a unified 911 system, or a minimum of a 911 system for the east side and another one for the west side?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm all in favor of a combined communication center. Way back when Tom Sawyer was the sheriff of Merced County, and I was the police chief, we struck a deal. We were going to handle all the records for the sheriff's department, the police department, and he was going to handle all the communications, which is a presage to what you're talking about. That never happened for some political reasons, but that's my inclination. I think that it makes sense. Economies of scale make sense. I think the technology is there. I think it's just a matter of collaboration. Unfortunately, the previous sheriff did not have the collaboration of all the agencies in the county. I do. I've been endorsed by every police chief in Merced County. We can bring together and do the kinds of things that make it better for everybody because of economy of scale, because of those kinds of things.
And Pat's very correct. Our previous administration didn't want to do it, and it's for that political reason. He wanted to be in charge. And that's an issue for me. Folks, my philosophy on this, and it goes by a lot of things, but there's no limit to the amount of good that can be done if you don't care who gets credit. And what we've got to do is establish this, and you know what, fine, let's get somebody in there. Let's hire somebody to take charge of that communication. But you're right, that was talked on a long time ago with Pat and Sheriff Sawyer. And it's something that we desperately need, because all of a sudden, we'll have people in the same room that are dispatching calls to fire and ambulance and all the things that are going on, because we don't know what Atwater Police Department's doing unless we have them on our scanner. You're right, I think that's a wonderful idea and we need to implement that, but the problem we're going to have is who's going to be in charge, and that's where the attitude's going to come in. So if we have the great attitude, we can take care of it. She said she's going to be in charge. Beverly, she just said it.
Well, I would like to see a Metro Communication Center. Stanislaus County, when I worked there, they have a really great call center, and I've seen the dispatch center there at the Sheriff's Department, and it does need some improvement. They're correct. We all have to work together and maybe even form a committee where we have people, who can decide input, but it all has to be, everyone has to want to do it, every agency, and if it benefits the community and get them to be involved in it, then we would have one great unified 911 system, to whereas we would know what Atwater's doing, we would know what Merced PD's doing, we would know what Castine or Livingston. So if it all went to one call center, fire, ambulance, police services, that would be one significant and magnificent thing that we could have, and especially if it's multi-agencies, the services could get out there faster and quicker. So I would support that, and it wouldn't happen overnight, but if we could start the legwork on it now, maybe in a few years, or next election time, we could have something like that. So, but it won't happen overnight, but we do have to start the legwork on it, and I would be for something that we would have a metro call center area.
One piece of housekeeping here. Lola, just go ahead and shout it out right there. That's our 50-50 drawing for the cash. Well, let Brian read, or Linda, either one. Go ahead. 712-008. 712-008. No winner? I can't believe it. Oh, wait a minute. Jim, you got it? Okay. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up here now. We're going to give give the candidates about a 3-minute time frame here to go ahead and give a final statement. I want to thank you all for your participation tonight. I think this has been pretty informative. We'll start with Pat Lunny and move on down the line. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, and I want to commend you for not only spending your time to come out, but to sit through this. This has been painfully long, I'm sure, for some of you. Let me close by saying that I'm optimistic. This department has great potential. It's a great department. We can take it to new heights. We can be the kind of sheriff's office you want in this county. What it's going to take is somebody that knows what they're doing. They have the leadership, and Vern and I have kind of been collaborating on this, but over the past few days we've been talking about, because this job is one that you must have honor and integrity. We've decided that we're going to sign a clean campaign pledge, and that will enumerate how we're going to run our campaigns. And we feel that it's a great way that you can understand that whoever gets this job, whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, you're going to have an honorable and you're going to have a trustworthy sheriff. And so that's what I'm offering you. That is what my platform is. And I urge you to get out and vote on June 3rd.
What he said. Pat and I take this very seriously on the way we're running our campaigns. You guys have heard it all tonight. Pat and I have two different styles on some of the things, but we have a lot of the same answers as far as the issues that are dealing with the county. My pledge to you is that I will do the job as long as I can, as long as you want me there. And I want you to understand that I also know that the sheriff is your last line of defense, and I will do everything in my power to protect your rights through the Constitution in this county and not allow your rights to be trampled on by any other agency, federal, and we will just take care of that, okay? Like Pat said, please go out and vote, but I want you to do one thing. I want you to mark down on a piece of paper somewhere what you think the qualifications for your sheriff should be. And then I want you to take a look at the candidates, do some research, and pick the candidate that best fits what you are looking for in your sheriff. I'm telling you right now, his heart is pure. He's wanting this as much as I am, and we're going to do everything we can to make this a better place, to make this the jewel of the state of California, and we can do that through the sheriff's office and through our communities. Vote for me, I'll take care of business. Vote for Pat, he's going to take care of business, but I'm better.
Well, I'm going to say that I've already been elected. I ran a campaign. I wasn't appointed by anybody. I wasn't hired by someone. I ran because I was going for public safety and I wanted to give back to my community. And when I vote up at the council chambers, I vote because it comes from the heart. I want to make sure that we're going to have systems in place to improve the quality of life. And that's what I want. I want to improve the quality of life here in the county. I am not a county employee. I am not someone that owes anything to the county. I am outside looking in, and I know that I can make a positive difference. We need some changes, and they need to be positive. I will stand up for you, and I've fought the system before, and I face different challenges, and though you stumble, you shall not fall, for the Lord upholds you with his hands. And I will stand up for your rights, and I want to make sure that we have positive changes here in the county. So I'm looking forward to being your next sheriff. Actually, you probably couldn't go wrong with anyone. Everyone has something positive to offer. We don't always agree on things. We can agree to disagree. We all have different styles. We all have different experiences. But again, I've ran a campaign. I've been elected, and hopefully I'll be your next sheriff. So my main thing is I want to make sure that you have great public safety services, that when you call the sheriff's department, that you're going to be treated respectfully and you're going to be treated fairly. And I want to make sure that the Sheriff's Department is a role model for all the other police departments. So again, I believe in standing for what you believe in, even if you're the only one standing.
Okay, we've obviously got incredibly terrific candidates, and you know, I think we're blessed that, you know, with anybody that gets elected is going to do a good job. With that said, there's also other races that are going on in Merced County. Okay, we've got the Board of Supervisors, there's a congressional election. Next Friday at the Atwater Community Center, we're doing another event. We rented the hall specially for the NorCal Tea Party Patriots are rolling in with the Give Me Liberty bus tour. They've got Mark Meckler with the Citizens for Self-Government, Brad Dacus with the Pacific Justice League, and a whole host of other really top-notch speakers and they're providing an opportunity for any and all candidates that want to come on out to meet the local candidates. And so I invite you all to come out to the Atwater Community Center next Friday, and it's between 6:30 and 9:30. 6:30 to 9:30. Yep.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for your participation tonight. I think Sam summed it up. We have some very, very good candidates. Next month, we're trying to have the congressional candidates here. I can just tell you right now, one of them is already found out. I'll give you 3 guesses. Jim Costa.
Right on.
In any case, we're working on congressional candidates. Please come out to that one if you can. Very, very informative. God bless you all. Drive safely tonight. Thank you for coming out.